Hello, my name is Daniel Medina, and this is a podcast on the immune system. And first of all, I must say that the main function of the immune system is to defend the body against those foreign invaders that somehow manage to get into it. So the immune system will have various mechanisms which would help the body defend itself against foreign invaders. And that being said, I can move on to the different lines of defense of the immune system. And as you can see here, this would be the first line of defense. Now, this is a very superficial line of defense. It's very it's found outside mostly of the body, um, and it is a combination of physical and chemical barriers that prevent foreign agents to enter the body. So first of all, there's the skin. Pretty obvious. Just the skin, it won't let many things enter the body, such as dirt and particles, etc. And it's a physical barrier. That's the skin. There's also the mucous membranes, which could be found in the nose. Mucous membranes. And they trap foreign particles and they direct them out of the body. There's also hair and cilia, also found in the nose as well, other parts of the body too. Um, and they also trap dust and dirt and block foreign particles from entering the body. There's also gastric juice, vaginal secretions, and urine right here. And they are acidic fluids with a protective function. So, for example, here, flushing of the urinary tract, they would wash away all those unneeded particles that were prevented from entering the body. And there's also tears, sweat, and saliva, which, for example, tears in the eyes. So, tears in the eyes, saliva in the mouth, sweat would be secreted from the skin. And they would be also body fluids with antigen bacterial properties. Finally, there's also cerumen, which would be found in the ear. And the cerumen is basically earwax, and it traps dust and particles in the ear canal. So that's basically the first line of defense, and now we can move on to the second line of defense. So the second line of defense would basically be white blood cells. And these guys are also called leukocytes. And well, there are two types of leukocytes, which are called granulocytes and agranulocytes. And well, basically the difference is that granulocytes are in charge of non-specific responses, and agranulocytes are in charge of specific responses. And basically, in the case of agranulocytes, specific responses enable them to be much more effective because it's specific. It would be like just for a specific pathogen. If you get me, they're very concentrated on a single subject. Let's say that way, and that way they're more effective. On the other hand, granulocytes are for much broad responses. It's for less threatening invaders, and granulocytes is for more threatening invaders. That's why they're specific. So then comes the third line of defense, and that would be if the pathogen or the invader passes the two previous the two previous lines of defense. And well, first of all, you should know that this involves a specific immune response, and this is activated by the presence of pathogens and foreign substances known as antigens. And the immune system can identify antigens from its own body structure, which are self-antigens, and these do not stimulate any immune response. While non-self-antigens would be substances that do stimulate an immune response. So anyways, the presence of antigens would trigger the production of antibodies. And this way the antibodies have a specific shape matching the antigen shape, allowing them to bind and inactivate them. So these guys right here would be the antigens, and these guys would be the antibodies. As you can see, the antibodies, the ends have a specific shape, and the of the antigen above. So for example, this one has a circular shape which can bind here, triangular shape can bind here, and the square shape can bind here and here. So this would allows them to inhibit the antigen so that it causes no harm to the body, at least temporarily. And the binding of the antibody with the antigen causes something called the antigen antibody complex. And this is what we can find right here above. The antigen antibody complex, as you can see, there's like this body of antibody and antigens united together, and this is the antigen antibody complex. So this is the third line of defense, and now we will follow the path of a specific immune response. So basically, an immune response would begin with an invader or pathogen that enters the body. We can see the pathogen right here. And this guy here is called a macrophage. And the macrophage would ingest the pathogen, and then it would display it on its surface. This would allow this guy right here called the helper T cell to recognize it. There's another path that is with B cells, and these would have this would also be able to bind with the pathogen that entered the body, and would be able to display the antigen on the surface, and this would also allow the helper T cell to recognize it. So anyway, the result would be a plasma cell with an antibody right here, and this would trigger the production of more antibodies. And what the antibodies would do, as you probably already saw last slide, is bind to the pathogen and inhibit it. And then, once it is inhibited, the macrophage would be able to digest it, so completely eliminate it. There's also this other path, which is the production of memory B cells, and basically what they do is just hang out in your blood and in your body until let's say the same pathogen attacks once more, and when it attacks, your body would be much more prepared to deal with it, and you will probably your body could eliminate it much more swiftly and easily. So that would be much better. And an example of this would probably be the chicken pox. So because if you get it once, you won't ever get it again in your lifetime. So that's how that works. You won't get it again of your lifetime because of the production of memory B cells, and this will not will help your body to surpass and eliminate the pathogen much more easily. So anyways, that was the immune system, and I hope that's helpful.